Hello and welcome to week 3 of Parentalk The Primary Years. This week's session is called It's Good to Talk, and we learn about the value and importance of good communication with our children. Of course, good communication involves both listening and talking, and we look at how these things are important, the way that we do them, how we put aside time to listen to our children, and the importance of the words that we use. We can all identify with how nice it feels when we know we are truly listened to by somebody, that they've given us that time and we feel that they have truly listened and understood what we've said. So we should be able to think about how that would feel for our children. Equally, we know how difficult it feels when you know that somebody isn't really listening. They're just smiling and nodding and going along, but not actually taking in what you're saying. How often do we find ourselves doing this with our own children? And what would the impact be if that was the only way we ever communicated? It's really hard as parents sometimes to give that undivided time and attention to our children and to truly listen, and we accept that this isn't something that can happen all the time. When we're parents, we can often look at things with adult eyes, and we genuinely believe that dealing with that email, that telephone call, getting that washing up done is more important than listening to the story of the dinosaur that our son has just built with his Lego. But actually, we need to think about the bigger picture and the message that that's sending. Sometimes we need to be intentional with our listening. It's okay to say, Mummy can't talk to you now, but we'll set aside some time after tea, as long as we ensure that we actually do this. We share stories with parents about their experiences of communication. And we hear from one dad who picked up his work phone on a Saturday morning because an email had come through. And before he knew it, he'd spent quite some time dealing with that email and then moving on to something else. And he talks about how during this time, his son made several attempts to try and communicate with him and ask him a question. And on the third attempt, he snapped at his child, "Can't you see I'm busy?" He said it was a real wake-up call for him when that child responded, "Daddy, you're a nicer person when you don't have your phone." That really made him recognise the importance of spending time properly listening to his child. It's a really good session. It's some really important and fun things to talk about, and it's nice to be able to learn the importance of communication and to think about just how important it is to sometimes set time aside and how that looks for your child. It may be going out for a walk with them. It may be chatting to them just as they're going to bed. We need to work out what works for our particular child. I hope that's given you a taste for the type of things that you can learn on the course, and I look forward to sharing with you again next week.